Hey guys, how are we doing? How are we doing tonight? Welcome on in. Look at my camera's all the way pointed back there. I was cleaning it. I was cleaning my camera earlier, or the camera stand, I should say. Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome in. Give everybody a second to get in their seats and get comfortable. If you guys don't mind just taking a second to hit the like button, it does help the channel. Hi, Karen. Welcome in. Hey, Alicia. Back my BS is here. And Jan. I saw Jan. Cheryl was in early. She was in here at 2. I would have chatted with her too because I wasn't really doing anything if I would have known. I could have came in here and chatted early with her. Hey, Stephanie, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you guys all for coming here tonight. The sun is going down faster, and I'm not appreciating that. Today it seemed like it was a lot earlier. I don't know, maybe it was just me. Maybe it was just a minute. Like earlier, it could have just been a minute. But it seemed like at 5:15, I looked out and the sun was like almost gone, or like the day sky. It wasn't really sunny today. So I don't like that. I hate it when it gets to like this time of the year. I get real, I get like where I just feel like, ugh, do you ever feel like that? Like during the changing of the seasons, it takes me like 2 weeks to get my sleep schedule back. That's what it is. It's like, I'll be funky for a minute. So I know it's coming. So can't wait for that. But yeah, every time the seasons change, it really is only from when we go from like summer to fall, or fall. I'm sorry, fall to winter, more fall to winter. But whenever it's like spring and the time changes, I'm good. I'm good then. We have 3 hours a day. Like, yeah, we have like, I don't even know what we have here. It's so bad. We don't even have day. I mean, it's day, but it gets gray skies and no sun. And if the sun is out, then I'm cool. I'm cool with it being whatever temperature, as long as the sun is out. If it's freezing cold, at least if the sun's out, it doesn't feel as bad. Yes, seasonal depression is real. Yeah, Catherine. That's what my counselor, my psychiatrist, she told me that years ago when I used to see her. She was like, "You have seasonal depression, girl." I was like, "Huh?" She's like, "Every year around this time." She's like, "Just something with you." And I was like, "I know." Yeah, it's the ending of daylight savings. I know, I hate it. And I always get it just for like, it's always a couple weeks. It always takes me a couple weeks before I can get back into the rhythm. I'm from Ohio, so I'm not like from anywhere like super crazy or anything, but it's just, winter's coming. Blah. I've grew up on the East Coast, so Midwest, East Coast kind of my whole life. So I've never really had summer all year round. Like Vincent, he grew up in California, so he's getting used to them now, but he didn't really have winters like we have out here. So it's like a change for the both of us. It's pretty cool though. And I'll get through it. I'll just be a little sleepy. No, we might even I'm going to check the analytics and everything and check with you guys, but maybe we'll switch our times to 7:15 if we all get a little sleepy. But it's up to everybody, because I could do 7 or I could do 8:15. Don't matter to me. But if you guys don't mind, just taking a second to hit the like button, share the stream. If you guys aren't subscribed to the channel and you appreciate tonight's case coverage, I hope you'll consider subscribing to our channel. We are heading towards 13,000 subscribers, and it's extremely exciting. So thank you guys all for being here. If you want to join our channel membership, I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'll do it throughout the live. So if you guys want to, if I can find it. So if you guys want to join, you guys can join. We'd love to have you be a part of our crew. We're going to start doing maybe some nightly lives after our nightly live. We'll be doing our nightly members live. So we'll do them like probably maybe like a couple times a week, few times a week or something, just to have some fun after the live. So thank you, Aries51. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate that. Oh, look at your black hat. I've always wanted a black hat. Very cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That'll go towards my cat's treats, because that's what he knows. He knows. We have to go get him some tomorrow too, because he'll be mad if we don't. So let me pull up this here and then get me out of the way for a minute. So tonight we're going to talk about Chelsea Grimm. And I found this picture of her, and I haven't seen this picture. I don't remember seeing this one. I thought it was so pretty. And it shows the bearded dragon that she's traveling with as well. So yeah, Karen, we're growing. We're growing fast. We are. we're going so fast. And I learned a lot about bearded dragons today as well, on how to transport them and how to carry them if you're going to go like long distances, cross country, if you're going to fly with them. A lot of airlines, they don't allow reptiles. And I did not know that. I did not know that until today. They do not recommend bearded dragons to be taken on planes anyway, because they can't just be with cargo. They need their little heat lamp, their little aquarium, and all that good stuff. So tonight we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover the case of missing woman, Chelsea Grimm. She was seen missing from Arizona since September 28th, when her and her pet bearded dragon, that's Rosie there, or Roxy, sorry, Roxy. I want to call him Rosie, but Roxy. They were going on a cross-country trip from San Diego, California, all the way across country to Connecticut. So this trip was going to be a 43-hour trip back home to go to a wedding with her family. She made it as far as Arizona, and she has completely vanished. Her last interaction was with a police officer in Williams, Arizona, at a cemetery. And the cemetery that she was at was for like, it was for anybody, but it was particularly, it had a memorial for deceased soldiers. And that's what she was there for. So tonight, I just want to do a full review of the case, see if there's anything that we missed, check out with the PI that I've been talking with, and we'll check on him and then see if he has like any new information. He did do his final report on the case, so we'll check that out. And then we'll also listen to our parents and another PI, because they had two at one point, with Brian as part of a podcast over at Brian on News Nation. So let's go ahead and we'll start with her missing flyer here. There's Cheryl. Look at her. She came back. I said hi to you earlier, but I didn't know if you were still here. Okay. Let me pull up her missing person flyer. Such a beautiful girl. And a caring girl at that. You know, I mean, her parents, her friends have come out. I've heard them on different channels coming out saying how caring she was. Her dad says she was very compassionate, very caring. She uses the word compassionate to the officer. There's just little things that she does. Hold on one second. I just realized something. I just gotta sit back here for a minute. Okay. So so the person that we're looking for is Chelsea Grimm. This is really small. Maybe I could blow it up a little bit for us. No, that didn't do a whole lot. Oopsie, I didn't mean to save it, but I can save it. Okay, so it's from Coconino County Sheriff's Office. And I actually wanted to look up their Facebook again too. I forgot to do that. October 7th, this came out, 2023. Her name, of course, is Chelsea Grimm. She's white, female. She's 32 years young, 5'9", 120 pounds, but I think that she's actually more like 135, between 115 and 135. Hazel eyes, blonde hair. And I think her eyes are like a bluish green, because some of the reports were getting a little conflicting. But Chelsea Grimm was reported missing on 10/4/23 to Phoenix police. Let me turn my camera back on. Here I am. Her vehicle, a white Ford Escape, and that's wrong. I think that she has a, no, that's right. Okay, I'm just making sure. Was located on 10-5 by hunters and on Kaab National Forest Road 6, northeast of Ash Fork, Arizona. The vehicle may have been there as early as September 30th, 2023. Chelsea was supposed to be traveling from California to Connecticut. The last known contact with Chelsea Grimm was on 9/28/23 in Williams, Arizona. Anyone with information about Chelsea Grimm or the situation is urged to call Coconino County Sheriff's Office. Oh, there it is. Vehicle is yeah. So I think it is a white Ford Escape. Okay. And if I'm for some reason I'm feeling like that's wrong, I'll double check on that. If you have any information, though, the Coconino Sheriff's Office number is 928-774-4523. Or you can call toll free. It looks like 1-800-338-7888. or you could be even a sightline witness and at 928-774-6111. So if anyone has any information or if you're in the Arizona area, keep your eyes peeled. I actually have all of the routes that she would have taken. So I can let you guys know those as well. Because this case, it's really getting me. Hey, Paige, welcome in. Yeah, no, it's like really, really getting me. Like, I cannot stop thinking about this girl. I think that SF Investigates is probably like, oh my gosh, I can't give her any more information. I'm like, do you have anything else? Do you have anything at all? Do you have anything at all? Because I really want to know. I'm like literally tempted to get on a plane and go all the way across the country, but I'd probably get lost too. Hey, Amanda, welcome in. Welcome, everybody. Everyone made it just in time too. So there are a couple news agencies or news places picking up the story, which I'm extremely excited about because the more the merrier. When it comes to a missing person case, nobody should gatekeep a missing person case. We all want to help find, Chelsea. So when I was looking up stuff today, I saw that ID Channel actually came out with an article, and it'll give us a little bit of background into Chelsea's case. And then that way, if there's anybody that, hasn't been here for the full, for all 3 or 4 of our lives that we've done over it, you'll get like a recap. And then we have like a timeline and everything that I made up a new timeline tonight. So it should be good. And hopefully the more videos, the more that we spread her out, like her name out there, maybe she'll see it, because her parents have only done 2 interviews. They were both on October 16th. They were wearing the same clothes in the same interview, like both interviews, from Law and Crime and for News Nation. So to me, in my head, and they're in the same spot in the kitchen, it looks like they had a stationary camera, and then they were just answering these questions for these 2 reporters. And then nothing's come out since. And I did talk with the PI about that, because I was like, I don't want to say anything, but it's just difficult for me to be like, why aren't her parents in Arizona flooding the place with flyers or on the news, or what's going on? Like, what are we missing here? We're missing something. Hey, Ange, welcome in. I think I say that a lot, don't I? Say welcome in. I like to say that. Like, that should be a shirt that I said. Like, it should say your name here and then welcome in. Hope everyone's having a good evening. We're that much closer to the weekend. One more day, guys. I got to go get my ID tomorrow renewed. That's awesome. I forgot to do that on my birthday. So that's Chelsea. That's one of the last pictures that they have that she took. And now, I don't know if she's been crying, if it's the sun or if it's allergies, but to me, she looks kind of sad. Makes me sad. So it says a California woman planned to attend a wedding in Connecticut after and I don't know, I really want to know when that wedding was. I can't find the date of the wedding anywhere. So if anyone knows when the wedding was supposed to be, let me know, because that trip is a 43, did I say 43 hour? Yeah, I think it's 43-hour trip. Yeah, 43-hour trip. That's 2 days. More than 2 days. If you just stop for gas and to go to the bathroom and food, let alone you have to sleep. So, and she had a bearded dragon with her. And those animals require like tanks, like for you to take with them with light and stuff. So I'm wondering if that was located in the car or if she even had that, because when the officer pulled her over, the bearded lizard was on her chest. So I just hope that they're both okay. It says a California woman planned to attend a wedding in Connecticut after she reportedly wasn't able to fly with her pet bearded dragon. She decided to drive across the country with the reptile, but disappeared somewhere in Arizona. On September 24th, 2023, Chelsea Grimm left her San Diego home and started out for the East Coast. Just days into her trip, however, her parents said she told them she didn't think she could go the entire way alone. She decided to skip the wedding and instead do some camping in Arizona. On September 27th, days after she left California, Grimm reportedly arrived in Phoenix and met up with a friend. The following day, she was supposed to see the same friend for lunch, but then canceled and instead showed up in Williams, Arizona. Body cam footage recorded September 28th and obtained by Arizona's family shows that an officer made contact with 32-year-old Grimm after authorities received a report about a suspicious person near a cemetery. "How are you doing?" says the officer to an upset Grimm, according to the footage. Grimm tells the officer she was going to go back on the road, but was doing a photo shoot of the lost soldiers and got a little emotional and was crying. She then explains to the officer that she was thinking about just camping for the night in the area, but hadn't made up her mind. Grimm adds, "I didn't plan to be here until sunset." And that gets me too, because when that video was taken of her with the officer, it was 8:40 at night. It would have been 2-3 hours after the sun set. So when she says, "Well, I didn't know I was going to be here after sunset," it's like, well, you've been here for 2 or 3 hours after sunset. Like, if I was that officer, I would have, I don't know, he didn't pick up on it, I guess. Or he just, I don't know. But I would have been side-eyeing a little bit. I wish he would have a little more. The officer directs Grimm to a Lowe's travel stop and explains that if she parks near the gas station, nobody will bother her. And she didn't end up going to the gas station. The PI told us that he saw the surveillance and she was never on it. And then also, I don't know how true the woodcutter part is. But it says a woodcutter reported seeing Grimm, who was camping in her 2019 Ford Focus SUV near Ash Fork, Arizona, 2 days later on September 30th. When asked, she indicated she was okay. After Grimm's concerned parents reported her missing on October 4th, her SUV was located in a rural area in the Ash Fork area with 2 flat tires, both on the right-hand side of the vehicle, so both on the passenger. The missing woman's pet bearded dragon, Roxy, was also gone, but many of Grimm's personal belongings were still in her SUV. The Coconino County Sheriff's Office in Arizona continues to investigate the case. We are trying our best to hold on to positive outcome scenarios and put our faith in the authorities, Stephen Grimm recently told Arizona Family about his missing daughter. So I guess he told them something. I didn't see that anywhere. It must have been like over the phone or something. Anyone with information about Chelsea Grimm and her possible whereabouts is urged to call the Coconino Sheriff's Office at 928-774-4523. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome on in. How's Boo Thing doing? She doing any better today? I didn't contact my mom once for a month, Cheryl said, and she found my friend's number on a phone bill and called. Cheryl, your mom's smart. See, that's what parents kind of do, that stuff, Like I tried to run away once. It was stupid. It was real stupid of me. I was like 15, 16, maybe, like something like that. My friend was like, "I'm going to run away." She had a boyfriend. Her parents didn't want her seeing this boy. Valid reasons too. Now I'm looking back on that. They didn't want them to be together. So I thought if I went with her, I wasn't really running away. I was stopping her from running away. But no, I was still running away. So I got as far as like 2 hours into Cincinnati in the city. I had never been in the city, like other than Philadelphia when I was little with my parents. And I grew up in the country and I ended up going to the city and I told him to drop me off at the hospital. It was the first thing I saw when I looked up in the sky and I was like, "Drop me off at the hospital. I'm done. I'm out." My mom came and got me and she was so mad. She was so mad. She was so mad, but she was so thankful that, that we were okay. Like, cause my friend ended up stopping with my other friend was like, "I'm not going either." He was like, he's out. So it was just kind of, kind of funny as kids. Kids are crazy. Let me get up this other tab for us. We were crazy kids. Still am. So I did put together this new timeline that I'm going to show you guys. I want to go over the timeline, and then I want to go over the like maps, like Google Maps, because I want to show you guys kind of like where she was heading and where she was going this whole time, because I hadn't done that prior to this evening, like each spot. And like they gave us one on like Google, but when you do it yourself, it's just, I was like, whoa, it almost looks like she was trying to go back on her track, like get back on the like the right track to go home or go to Connecticut after all. But I'll have to show that to you guys. Let me share this with you, and then I think I have to share it like this. Let's see. I need to go back to the beginning there. I was looking at it before. Did I end up finishing it? Yeah. I was working on it right before the live. I was like, what was I doing right before that? Okay. So this is Chelsea. You ran away behind the air conditioner in second grade, Elizabeth said. You didn't get very far neither, did you? I got real far though. I got 2 hours away. My parents were mad. My dad was like half lit by the time when they got there, because he had been drinking the night before. And then as soon as he found out like I was like gone, he was, that's dads for you back then. 80s dads. So this is Chelsea. We're just going to kind of go over the same thing, but female, 32, 5'8", 135, strawberry blonde hair, blue-green eyes. Last seen with her bearded dragon, Roxy. And she was last seen in Williams, Arizona. Those are, some of the facts that we do know. And then this is going to be kind of like her trip and her travels. So September 24th, she leaves California. So Chelsea leaves her place in San Diego. Where was I at? To make the cross-country trip to her parents in Connecticut. She decided to drive instead of flying because she was unable to take her bearded dragon with her. So September 27th, so that was the 24th. So 3 days go by. September 27th, she meets up with a friend in Phoenix. So Chelsea stops in Phoenix to meet up with a friend. We don't know who this friend is or why she decided to stop. She would have been on the road for only 5 hours, 25 minutes at that point. So from from San Diego to Phoenix is 5 hours, 25 minutes. Let me see something really quick. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had the maps and stuff up. So, so for 3 days, she's off the map. This is what I don't get. I don't get this because I'm like, So the 24th, she leaves California. It should have only taken her 5 hours, like 5.5 hours, 6 hours to get to Phoenix. So she would have only been on the road for 6 hours out of 43-hour journey. If she wanted to stop, because maybe she started late that day and, she wanted to stop in Phoenix to have a nap, sleep, whatever, hang with her friend. I could see that, but I don't know. It just doesn't, I don't know. Something's weird about it. Then she then she tells her friend the next day that she doesn't want to meet up with them anymore. It seems like that's the day, the 28th in my head to me, like that's when something like happened. But the 27th was the last time she talks to her parents. So she calls her parents on this day to tell them she doesn't think she's going to make it there to Connecticut on time for the wedding. So she's just going to go back to San Diego. But it took her 3 days to get from California to Phoenix. Like, why? Why? What was she doing? Like, that's just very strange. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. It's very strange. So the same day that she hangs out with her friend, and then she's like, I'm not going to hang out tomorrow, like cancels for the next day. Last time she talks to her parents, she's seen on in a hotel in Slegelman. Chelsea Grimm is seen on surveillance camera at a hotel in Slegelman. I might be saying that wrong. She is overheard saying that she wishes to stay off the grid and asked if they took euros because she didn't want to run her card. So we overhear her and we'll play that too, the surveillance video saying like, oh, I don't want to run my card then, I'm trying to stay under the radar. So that's the first, and this isn't that September 27th. We didn't have this surveillance video until like last week. So we didn't know about any of this until like last week. Oh, thanks, DM. Appreciate that. I just happened to look down at the chat. Yeah, back on my BS. I want to know about the friend in Phoenix. Like, even the parents interview, they're like, "Did you talk to the friend?" And they're like, our daughter had a lengthy conversation. At this point, I've heard the interview with her parents probably more times than I've heard any interview in my life. Really, I've heard it probably 10 times. But just the way that they say some of the things, I don't know. I just don't get it. Let me grab a drink really quick right here. Hey, Phantom. Marianne. I saw you earlier, Marianne. I don't know if I said hi to you, though. I think she's hiding too, but it's like, why don't she come out? Like, she's a grown adult. You know what I mean? Like, she already went clear across the country to get away from her. Like, if she was getting away from her parents, she was already clear across to California. She would only have to be running from somebody from California, you would think. Or if that person was in Arizona. And that's why she diverted really weird in her planning. Hey, Aries. Yeah, this isn't looking good. Yeah, her parents probably do feel like they know where she is. That's probably why they're not maybe saying anything. But like you got to say something. You got to find her. If I didn't know where my kid was, I wouldn't care if she wanted to be left alone or not. I would say, sorry, Charlie. You know what I mean? Not until the day you're dead or I'm dead, I'm not giving up. Like, that's your child, And yeah, she had euros. I'm wondering why she had euros. I'm wondering if she had a trip before. I was talking to somebody and they said they had scoped out her Facebook and she did have a trip to Europe before. So maybe that was like old currency. I don't know how much she even had, but the hotel that she was standing in didn't look very expensive. Or did she go to like the airport and withdraw money before she went to the airport and then switched it over? But if she took out a large sum of money, that would show up in her bank records and her parents should be able to get her bank records, I heard some stuff about the ex too, Teresa. Yeah. They do appear detached. Yeah, Melvina. I love that name, Melvina. I've never heard that name before. I like that. It's different. So that was the 27th. So then the 28th, she's seen in the cemetery. So Chelsea Grimm is seen on body camera interacting with an officer after he received a call of suspicious activity at a cemetery in Williams. In her interaction with the police, she is crying and she explains it's because of the dead soldiers that she was there taking pictures of. My little thing is missing right there. On September 30th, hunters spot her car. So 2 days later, a man and his grandson spot the car and drive by it 2 different times on September 30th, and the car had no damage to it. So September 30th, car's cool. Then we go all the way to October 4th, and that's when her parents report her missing. Now, she does call them on the 27th, and she says, I can't make the trip. I'm just going to stop and camp for a couple days, and then I'm going to head back home. So to me, by the 30th, if I didn't hear by the 1st, I would be like, where's she at? But because she said a couple days, I would just think that you would be like, okay, where is she? This is weird because she's not coming here. She's not going home. What's she doing? But then again, she was 32, so I don't know. October 5th, officers find Chelsea's car. So the police find Chelsea's car. It's on a van. Car. I don't know what that word is supposed to be. On Forest Road 6 outside Ash Fork, Arizona. I don't think I meant to put that word in there. Sorry, guys. And then on October 5th, 2023. The officers recover, Chelsea's car. It has 2 flat tires on the passenger side. SF investigates. The PI that was working on her case told us they weren't purposely deflated and they weren't slashed, but they were all the way down. So he was speculating that maybe it was one of the rocks that are out there. They're called like lava rocks, and they're very jagged and pointy because of the being on one side of the vehicle. It would make sense. I mean, to me, it would make sense too. When officers searched her car, they discovered her wallet, phone, sleeping bag, keys, and bearded dragon were all gone from the car. So she took her wallet, her keys, her phone, her bearded dragon, and a sleeping bag. Like the essentials, it seems like. To me. Yeah. No, like, yeah. Feeding time for the horses. Aw. Aw. It's good to see you, Doodle Mom. Everyone has horses here. Man, I feel like I need a horse. Even though I don't like horses because they're so big. They're scary to me. They're beautiful, majestical creatures. From afar, I could love them. But up close, they don't like me. They just don't like me. They're so big. My brother used to have a bunch of horses. He has to have 2 big horses, and then he had a mini horse. So he didn't have a bunch of horses, but he had a few. And I let one out one time, and it was bad news for me. So this is just what I kind of wrote out. But so this is Chelsea's travels. And I was going to show you guys like on the map, but we might be able to just go through it like this. We could probably show it on the map though too. So the original trip leaving on September 24th was from San Diego to Connecticut. So that was the original plan. September 27th, she meets with a friend in Phoenix. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll just go over this and then we'll take this and we'll put it into the maps. So September 27th, she meets with a friend in Phoenix. Where is she from? The 24th to the 27th. That's what I put there. The trip. From San Diego to Phoenix is only 5 hours. It's actually 5 hours, 55 minutes, not 25. Sorry, it is 55. So San Diego to Phoenix, 6 hours. September 27th, she's seen on surveillance at a motel in Sangamon, I don't know how to say that, Arizona. And that is 2 hours and 55 minutes north of Phoenix. So she's supposed to be going straight across. Phoenix is here, and she should be going straight through for Phoenix, like going towards the East Coast. But she decides to go this way. Very, very strange. Like she went on a different plan. Well, thank you, Doodle Mom. Thank you. She said, thank you for being so awesome and having this amazing community to be a member of. Oh, that's so nice. Tanya, you are truly amazing and so loved by us all. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, you guys are too. Thank you. That's so sweet. I appreciate that so much. She might have actually, if her boyfriend was on them, it's hard to believe that she wasn't on something. So that in my mind, I was thinking maybe she was trying to get away to get like herself together. But you think she would reach out to somebody. And even if it's not the boyfriend, you think the parents, think somebody. I mean, but maybe not. Maybe she just wanted to be left alone. But her parents said they talked to her like every day. Oh, it's very strange. So when she was seen on the surveillance, that was it says 2 hours and 55 minutes north to Phoenix. So September 28th, the next day, the cop finds her in a cemetery in Williams, Arizona. Williams is 42 minutes from Sangamon, Arizona, but it's back on her way to travel to Connecticut. And I'll show you on the map because one of the interstates that she could take, I think it was 40 or 44, because I think it's 40. She was going back up towards 40 and she was on it. Like she was going to go back towards Connecticut almost. But then September 30th through the 5th, it's seen by the hunters and found by police on Forest Road 6 outside Ash Fork, Arizona. And that's the last one. I forgot to put that one in the maps, but we'll look at that. So what did it do? San Diego. I wonder if it saved my... I don't know if it like saved my thing. Okay, it did. It saved this anyway. So now it's changing to 42 hours. Why does it do that sometimes? So I'm going to go back over it. Let me do this. Oops. So her first trip was, from San Diego to Connecticut. That is a long trip. Like, could you get any further from the one side to the other? Like, I mean, good golly. So she was on her way. Let's see. Let me see if I can do this. This will help. Okay. I'm just going to move this over here. That way I can see on the maps where she was going. Yeah, I wonder if they did too. They didn't say anything about finding anything, Teresa. And I feel like SF would have told us. You know what I mean? The PI that we knew that was out there. I think because he could have disclosed. He was disclosing as much as he could. I know he was, and he did his final report. So we'll make sure that we go through the Twitter feed. I have it up, and it should still be in the spot where he started covering the case. And we'll just kind of go back through towards the end of the live, and that'll be kind of like his final update on his side anyway, unless they ask him to come back out and, search some more. And I'm sure, he probably would, because he doesn't like to leave things unopened. So first trip, San Diego, Connecticut. That was on September 24th. So instead of doing that, she goes from San Diego, and like you can see right here, if you go to Arizona, where was Phoenix? I saw it somewhere. Oh gosh, my eyes are so bad. But it was literally on her way. Like it's on her way through. Yeah, right here. So like, I don't know where it went, but yeah, it's like right through here. So she was going like towards Phoenix, so I can understand why she would stop. Like it was on her way. It was on the same road, like the same state route. She was going to go start on State Route 8, and then she was going to take State Route 8 to State Route 40. And then 40 is, I believe, what runs into Phoenix. So she went to, let me go see here if I can. So instead, she went to Phoenix. Now it's saying 5 hours, 26 minutes. From Phoenix, she stayed there from the 27th till, the 28th. We know that a cop finds her in a cemetery in Williams, Arizona. So we'll go. Oops. Oopsie. It's just kind of, it gets kind of weird. Okay, so instead of going across, she goes like back up. And then she goes back to like towards 40. Like it looks kind of like she's going back, on her way to get back onto the highway, maybe even to go towards Connecticut from Phoenix. Now, I don't know why she probably didn't just go from Phoenix to 40's here. Yeah, that's what she would have kind of had to do that. Okay, so she went to Williams. Maybe you'll see something that I don't see too. And then after she goes to Williams, let's see. She's found on Forest Road 6. I don't know if it's gonna. No, this might be it. I know it's like Ash Fork, but I don't want to put that in because I know it's by the Grand Canyon, so it's probably this right here. So then she goes from Williams and she goes up. Instead of going over to like go towards Connecticut to go home, she just goes up more. I just don't get it. And then that's where her car is found. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know where she was going, but I wish I did. Yeah, Daniel Robinson, another one. Yeah, he was in Arizona too, wasn't he? He was like a gemologist or something, or what was he? They never found him. No, they never did. His dad was actually on I believe it was his dad on Icamil's on Monday night. He came out to talk about it. Oh yeah, Alicia, because you grew up with horses. They're your people. Yeah, this is really sad, and I really hope we get a resolution because I can't handle life without a resolution. I really can't. And then another one that's getting me, I'm going to switch up things for a second here. Madalena Kojakari. We're going to do a live on her soon. Oh my Lord. So I thought that there was remains found and they thought it was hers, but they think it's a male. So that gives me a little bit of, makes me feel better because I'm so invested in that little girl's case. But her mom's bail, if nobody's heard, her mom's bail got reduced to $100,000 from $250,000. Still hasn't produced her child, but her bail has went down. And she got in trouble in jail for drugs, but her bail went down. Someone make it make sense. Someone make that make sense. That's another case I can't. It's just too much. Yeah, Cheryl, we talked about it last night, actually, on our live, and then they came out with a couple of videos today. They came out with a video of the hearing today. I was gonna play that tomorrow. I was watching it a little bit before we came on. It's not nothing super like awesome, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause we kind of know what the outcome is before that we watched it, but yeah, no, it's kind of like different because they're on Zoom and stuff, and so you can see Anne's full, like, you get to see her from here. You don't see her from the back for once. That's very weird, I think, because it's just, we're not used to seeing her in the, front. But you get to see Anne and everybody. So they were all on Zoom. Like I kind of assumed that's what they were going to do. So what we'll do is we'll play this next. This is Brian over at News Nation. He did a podcast of this whole case. And what I think he did was he just took what I know he did, makes me so angry. I was listening to this earlier and he says, I have her parents with me. I just talked to them yesterday or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, a new interview. And I was super excited. And I'm like, oh my gosh, new information. And then I watched it. And as soon as Brian started talking and the dad started talking, I was like, I've heard this before. It was the same interview. So this is only a day old, but if it sounds like it's older, that's because that's how they spliced it together. So yeah, she was downstairs with Brian and Jan in the jail. They didn't bring him up this time. They're like, we're not getting him dressed. Just stay down there. Wonder if he was still in a suit. I could see it. I could see it. I didn't get it. I didn't see him, but I just like skimmed through it. I don't know what he was wearing or anything, or if they even showed him. But I heard that she was down there with them. So, okay, so I'll go ahead and play this. This will get us all caught up, and then we'll get the newest details, and we'll watch the surveillance and all of that. We'll do that after we watch this. And I'm gonna I don't have them on my computer. I mean, I do. I have them saved. So what I'm gonna try to do is put pictures of Chelsea up. That way, we have something to go with the video because it's just a video or a podcast version. So if you guys don't mind taking a second to hit the like button, if you guys have made it this far and you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Do it. Just hit that button. If you appreciate the case coverage, I hope you guys will consider subscribing to the channel. And if you want to become a member, I'll put the link in the channel for you or in the chat. All right. And let me just say, Mr. Entin, you do look very handsome in this picture. I will say that. He does. He looks nice.
I'm News Nation senior national correspondent Brian Entin, and every week I'll take you behind the scenes of my life on the road, working on the stories that you care about the most. Here's where I'll share all the great interviews that don't make the final cut and tell you the stories behind what you're seeing on News Nation every day. It's all part of the puzzle I'm putting together to keep you informed. This is Entin Across America.
Hey everybody, it's Brian. Hope you're having a good week. I'm actually on my way to Chicago today to fill in on Morning in America, which is the morning newscast on News Nation. I've had a little bit of a cold. My voice sounds weird. I'm hoping I get over that. I have to get up super early tomorrow morning. I've never filled in on that show, but I'm excited because the anchor I'm filling in with, Marky Martin, is like one of my besties, my work besties. So it's going to be fun to actually get to sit on the anchor desk with her. So I'm excited. But I wanted to focus today's podcast on the Chelsea Grimm case. She is a missing young woman. She was driving from California to Connecticut to go to a wedding, driving across the country. She actually had she had a bearded dragon pet, which is why she didn't want to fly. And she went missing in Arizona. Really tragic situation. I interviewed her parents and the private investigator working the case. I was on Banfield earlier this week and did the interviews, but I wanted to play them again for you guys because I just think it's a really important case for people to pay attention to, not getting a lot of coverage. Take a listen.
She left her home in San Diego on September 24th, headed for a wedding in Connecticut. She was traveling alone with the exception of her pet bearded dragon. Remember that, the pet bearded dragon, because that sort of comes into play with this whole thing. 3 days into the trip, she met up with a friend in Phoenix, Arizona. That same day, she called her parents to say the drive was taking longer than she thought, and she planned to skip the wedding and head back to San Diego. She didn't realize just how long the drive was going to be, her mom told me. That was the last time her parents actually heard from her. But it wasn't the last time Grimm was seen altogether. That night, she was spotted at a hotel in Seligman, Arizona. A witness says she seemed disoriented, that she was actually trying to use euros instead of U.S. currency. On September 28th, a police officer responding to a report of a woman acting suspiciously found Grimm in her car at a cemetery, and that was in Williams, Arizona. She told him that she was working on a photography project about missing soldiers and that she had gotten emotional. She told the officer she planned to camp in her car that night. I want to show you this. Here is some of the conversation. It was recorded on the officer's body cam.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. Are you doing all right?
Yeah, I just was doing a photo shoot of the lost soldiers and got a little emotional, so I was crying before I got back on the road. I was actually thinking of just camping for the night, but I wasn't really sure exactly yet.
Gotcha.
Well, I didn't plan to be here till sunset.
Okay. Just hang out here however long you want. You're good to go.
Awesome.
Okay, so 2 days later, on September 30th, a woodcutter saw Grimm camping in her SUV, and that was near Ash Fork, Arizona. He said she seemed okay. On October 4th, Grimm's parents reported her missing. The next day, October 5th, hunters found Grimm's SUV. It was abandoned. It was in the middle of a dirt road, and that was also outside Ash Fork, Arizona. Where she had spoken again to that woodcutter. That was 5 days earlier. This is what's very strange. Both tires on the right side of the SUV, they were flat. Her cell phone, her wallet, clothing, and sleeping bag were not in the car. And again, this is important. Neither was her pet bearded dragon, who she had gotten pretty recently. We're going to hear more about that in a second. Earlier today, I spoke with Chelsea's parents, Janet and Stephen Grimm. Here's some of that conversation. Can you talk to us a little bit about her itinerary? Was her plan to drive all the way from California to Connecticut? Was it sort of like a road trip she was looking forward to?
Actually, she was originally going to fly, but because she had recently acquired a bearded dragon as a pet, and the airlines wouldn't let her take that animal on the plane. So the day that she was supposed to fly east for this wedding, she called and said, I'm going to drive across the country. And she said, I've packed my car, I have my tent, I have my sleeping bag. I might spend a couple nights in a hotel, I might camp. I'm going to sort of see how it goes. And 3 days later, we talked to her in between, but 3 days later, she said, I'm only as far as Arizona. I just don't think I can do this by myself, which we had tried to explain in the beginning, but she said, so I think I'm going to just skip the wedding and stay here for a couple of days and do a little camping. And then, so she made it sound like she was going to head back to San Diego.
Saw the picture of the bearded dragon. Did she have an adventurous spirit? I'm just thinking like that's a long drive and the camping was it out of the ordinary for her to sort of be spontaneous?
I'd say yes and no. She was spontaneous. She changed plans a lot. This wasn't the first time she ever changed a plan, for sure. The magnitude of this adventure, quote unquote, of driving across the country, was a lot, even for Chelsea. And we said we thought that was too much, and if she wanted, we'd help her fly from Phoenix home, or she had a friend in Phoenix that she could leave her car with. We gave her a bunch of options, but this she seemed intent on this once she had chosen it.
What made you report her missing? Like when did you start to get the feeling that something was wrong?
Well, we last talked to Chelsea on the 27th in the afternoon, and she said, I'm going to camp for a couple of days, and so I'm going to be probably where I'm not going to have cell service. And so for a couple of days, we didn't even think about it again, because she had told us she would be offline, and we knew she was in in Arizona, where there are spots where it's not particularly good for communication. So it was after a couple more days after that we started thinking this is too long for a camping trip, and she should be back. She should be somewhere where she can get in touch. And so on the 4th of October, we reported her missing, and on the 5th, they found her car in Arizona.
He had met up with a friend in Phoenix, I believe. Have you talked to that person? Were they able to give any information about sort of her state of mind or what was going on?
Yes, actually, our other daughter talked to her at great length, and she shared a couple of emails. And she said that they gotten together, and they had a nice visit at her house. And Chelsea and she were going to brunch the next day, but the next day when it got closer to time for brunch, Chelsea said, I need to change plans. So she did, with this other friend.
Did the friend have any information about like any reason to be concerned, or did it just seem like a normal hangout?
Yeah, not particularly. Yeah, no alarm bells or anything. I mean, she says they had a nice visit, and she was looking forward to seeing her the next day. So can't really explain that any better.
No, she said she was doing a photo project, I think in a cemetery, when she interacted with that police officer. Do you know anything more about that? Was she, a photographer? Can you shed light on that a little bit?
Well, she did photography a lot, and she also did paintings, rendered art, to supplement her income, whatever her income was. And so it's not at all unusual for her to have been doing a story or a photojournalist story for some, whatever publication. So that's not unusual. Being in the cemetery is, I guess if you're doing a story on lost soldiers, that maybe that's a good place to look.
I think she also had a strong affinity to her grandfather, Janet's dad, who was a World War II veteran. And perhaps that was a draw to the veterans there.
Yeah. Have you been able to see that body camera video? I think it was on. Did anything seem out of the ordinary, or did she just, you obviously know her better than anyone. Did she seem like herself in the video?
Couldn't see much of her. We just heard her voice. That sounded like it was definitely her, in my opinion. No, it didn't seem, out of the ordinary. And one thing that seemed very in the ordinary or in character was how I think she said, I appreciate your compassion or something like that. That sounded 110% like Chelsea. She's a very compassionate, empathetic person, kind of an artist at heart, and that sounded just like her.
she had an interaction with a woodcutter also. Have you been able to get any more information about that?
I know the authorities had talked to him, or I believe it's a male. We don't have anything particularly noteworthy to add on that, except he thought she did not seem, in distress or in need. He actually went back some short time later to make sure she didn't want help, and she again a second time declined his help. So his conclusion was that she was in pretty good shape, not worrisome.
It sounds like the bearded dragon was important to her. Obviously, if she was going to drive across the country and not fly, the bearded dragon was not found with the car. Does that make you think that she went somewhere and took the pet with her? Is that sort of a good sign to you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Chelsea has always had a special spot in her heart for children, elderly people, and animals. And she would never leave an animal in a car. She just wouldn't do it. So I think that is a hopeful sign. I also think that the chances of people recognizing Chelsea are at least sort of connecting the dots. If they see somebody with a bearded dragon, they're going to take an extra look at that person, because it's unusual to be carrying around a bearded dragon, usually on her shoulder.
It would definitely stand out. So that's a good thing for people to look out for.
Right. She also had a very distinctive tattoo on her left arm, which was a vine with leaves on it that sort of wrapped all the way around her lower arm. So another visual clue.
Have police given you any other information? I mean, is there anything else people watching this should be on the lookout for in a certain area, or are there any other tidbits that they've been able to give you?
I wish there were. There is a chance she got a ride out of there. She seemed to have left that car of her own volition in an organized way. It was locked. She had taken her wallet, and we think her phone and her sleeping bag, among other things, along with the bearded dragon. So the reason I mention that is the area of possibilities where she could be is pretty wide. It's a wide net. So, surrounding states have been notified, not just Arizona. The surrounding states, the authorities in Coconino County have been terrific in helping get the word out. And so even if you're, several hours away from there as a viewer and you've seen something that you think might be any kind of tip, we would be forever grateful if that's an important clue. Time is of the essence. And so anything that leads to progress would be awesome.
Gosh, you really have to feel for those parents and what they're going through right now. And Janet and Stephen, they have hired a private investigator to help them with the search for their daughter. And Kelly Townsend joins me now on the phone. Kelly, it's a strange case. Hard to wrap my mind around. I was trying to go over all the details today and the timeline and the fact that the car was found. And that she's missing with the bearded dragon. Have you been able to piece anything together yet? I mean, do you think that she is likely still in Arizona at this point?
Well, that's very difficult to tell right now. I mean, the circumstances, you're right, they are bizarre. I mean, and the body cam video of the law enforcement officer talking to her, my agency's just recently been brought on. But I have an interest in, he recommended for her to go to Love's, and I'm working with the Coconino law enforcement right now and trying to find out, has anybody gone there to check out the CCTV? Because if she actually followed the officer's advice and was camping there or just sleeping in her car there, did she get approached? And I know the Love's, those Love's gas stations, I guess, truck driver stations, they have places where people can sleep. Truck drivers do it all the time, showers and stuff like that. So I'm right now, we're just trying to gather as much information as we can. Coconino County Sheriff's Department has been outstanding working with us. Some law enforcement departments, they don't work with you just because you're a private investigator. But because I'm interested, because there was 2 flat tires, it was out on a dirt road. How far was the body cam video where she was talked to by the police there to where the car was found? You know, I mean, because did somebody interact with her and then they drove down that road? I mean, we're all assuming at this point right now, because nobody really knows for sure except God. So, you know, right. I mean, that's where we are right now. We have had some interesting things come to light just as of today. Matter of fact, just a few hours ago, that we're working on that could really generate stuff that we're probably going to want to get out on the news if it comes to fruition, because we may have something that we want the world to look out for.
Yeah, I would imagine when you start asking questions and like you said, around that gas station, first of all, the thought of a young woman sleeping alone with just a bearded dragon in a gas station parking lot makes me a little nervous. Well, can you share a little more about what you've discovered in the last couple of hours, or, you know, give us
I really can't at this point. I really can't, because number one, we have to verify. Number two, we have to interview, and these people literally just came up on the radar today. And so we're trying to get interviews set up and composite sketches and things like that.
The tidbit about her trying to use, I think it was like euros instead of dollars, and possibly being disoriented. Do you know anything more about that? Because her parents, told me, she was an artist. It wasn't odd for her to be in the cemetery taking pictures as part of her art project. It just seems strange to me that there was that one account that maybe she was like disoriented at one point.
Yeah, right now I can't say that I would verify that with you right now. I mean, I thought it was a little odd where she was crying, but the law enforcement officer walked up to her and she was crying, and he asked her, and she said it's because she just took pictures at the graveyard and she was weeping for the soldiers. I don't know. I've never personally met Chelsea, but she seems like a nice heart, very compassionate girl. But was she actually crying and just saying that to law enforcement? You follow what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Or perhaps she was moved by the art project she was working on. We'll stay in touch with you, Kelly. We want to stay on this story, and I'm glad that you're involved. And I feel for those parents. I just want to put out the phone number. Anyone with information, you can contact the sheriff's office there. The number is 928-774-4523. Hopefully we will have some good news to report.
So again, if anyone has information, you can call the sheriff's office there in Arizona. The number is 928-774-4523. And I hope everybody has a good week. I got to go to bed at
I'm on the mute. I was just talking about Brian Entin. I said he had to get up early because he has to go over to Idaho, but he's already in Idaho, I believe. Yeah, he is in Idaho because he was the one that was giving us the coverage when they were taking the plywood off of the house. And I forgot to show you one of those videos too last night when we were on his Twitter. After I got off, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I forgot to show one of those videos. It was just them like removing the plywood. Or actually, it was the guy climbing out of the window. So if we go over there, maybe I'll be able to show it to you guys. But let me show you some of SF Investigates' stuff that he, just some of the stuff that he saw and he did when he was out there. And then we'll read his final report that he did on the case. And I'll look at my phone and see if I need any notes from our conversations, but I don't think I do. He was really nice about getting back with me every time I had a question about anything. So that was really nice because there's no, so other than the October 16th interview that her parents did on Law and Crime and News Nation, we haven't had any information at all. So I've been really going after him hard. I'm like, do you have anything else? So we'll go through that, and then we'll go through the surveillance too that we have of Chelsea and at the motel. So this is the road here. It says this is whenever he was going out there, he was getting his drones and stuff together. But this was the first time, like the first night he was out there, October 19th. It says this is the Forest Service Road 124 that connects to the road Chelsea Grimm's vehicle was found on, about 13 miles into the country. It's not the four-wheel drive kind of road I expected. It would be also hard to get lost there. There are roads and water tanks everywhere. And you could see, I mean, like it's not super woodsy. It's flat ground. One in, one out, you know. And I'll show you some drone footage too of where her car was found. It says, regarding the Chelsea Grimm search, I'm about to go back up to the area of the vehicle. Since the location has been disclosed by others online, I've received permission to share my SAR map This will track me in real time by GPS since there is no cell phone service. So there's no cell service out there. This is for my safety since I am alone. I am not armed I am armed. I'm sorry. I am armed. I am armed and not worried about the environment, but accidents can always happen. This way, everyone knows my exact location as it shows up in his real time. Okay. So he was hoping to find Chelsea today, he said. That's sad. That's just him talking about being tracked. Okay. Regarding the Chelsea Grimm's, I already read that. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. No, I did. Okay, let me go back up here. So this is it during the day. It says this is a video of the location that Chelsea Grimm's vehicle was found.
From the first area where I launched the drone.
He's talking, so.
I'm guessing about 3 miles from where the car was. But this is, you could walk out of here, no problem. And the road's been like, in fact, this is the worst part of the road so far. It's been, as hard as pavement up until when I got off on the 124, and I'm on the 6 now. So
that's the road that her car was found on the 6.
It's confusing because if you broke down, car was disabled, whatever, it would not be a hard walk out of here. And there are a lot of hunting camps around. Now, granted, a month ago there wasn't as many, but it just it's not rugged terrain.
It's crazy. So I guess technically she wouldn't have been able to call AAA because her parents had AAA for her. So I guess technically if her phone didn't have cell service, she wouldn't have been able to call. So maybe that's what she would do. She would take her, you would think she would take her purse though. That's the only thing that gets me. Why didn't she but she had another purse in the surveillance. So maybe that's what she did. She took a tote or something. She threw all her stuff in a tote bag. Because that purse almost looks like a tote that she's having, like she has on in the surveillance. I'm going to double check again tonight when we watch it. But so maybe she just threw some like necessities in there and then she was going to walk out. Like she had every intention on walking out. Because it is just a service road, like right off of a main road. So maybe she could have got mixed around on one of those other little dirt roads to the side. Because her purse was like located in the car. But she had a bag with her. Where's this at? So she was last seen in Williams, Arizona. So this is in Arizona. So as far as October 20th, this is as much as he could disclose. And then I'll show you some drone footage and stuff too. But it says, here's a wrap up of things I can disclose from the Chelsea Grimm search. The area is not rugged at all. The road is in very good shape. You don't even need an SUV. If you were to break down out there, you could easily walk out if you're in decent shape. The car was blocking the road. This caught the attention of a local hunter and his grandson who saw the car twice on September 30th. They specifically looked to see if the tires were flat and if that was a reason it was left blocking the road. They said the tires were not flat. I 100% believe them. The sheriff's department approached the car 5 days later. The passenger side tires were flat. Not known about fuel because the keys were not inside. Doors were locked. Battery was not dead. I found non-evidence at all today. There are several camps in the area because of hunting season opens tomorrow. They have been there for a month scouting. Some of the nicest people I've ever met. I would have zero issue camping out there alone. Her ex-boyfriend and his friend are in Arizona and set up a $30,000 GoFundMe right away. One of them made a video about me this morning bitching that I was being paid and that they hadn't received or raised no money. There does seem to be a credible eyewitness account from the area. I can't discuss that though. I'm going to search tomorrow. Something is off. That is for certain. I think in the next 72 hours, the case will reveal itself. I could be very wrong. This is an effing strange one. Yes, it is. And then looks like something I would add, and it's just my opinion because literally everything is still on the table in this case. Abductions and or assaults are violent. Things are broken, blood is splattered, hair is pulled out, clothes are ripped off. Here the car was locked, alarm set, the lizard was not left in the car. If it was an abduction or assault, it's a very courteous one. It's very true. Okay. Before I give a longer debrief, I see there is talk about the tires on Chelsea Grimm's vehicle. I talked to the sergeant that is head of SAR. When they encountered the vehicle the evening of the 5th, both passenger tires were flat. Car was locked with no keys inside. They don't know about the fuel level because they couldn't start the ignition. But when they made forced entry into the vehicle, the alarm went off, so the battery was not dead. I spoke to the gentleman and his grandson who saw the car on the 30th, and I fully believe him when he says the tires were not flat. The car was right in the middle of the road, so they looked to see if the car was visibly disabled, and that's why it was left there, and there was nothing obvious. Oh, man. Let me find the one of him where he's going over with the drone. This might be it. I think this is it. Oh, wait, what did I do? I just went to YouTube. I didn't mean to do that. And well, let me go back. What the heck? Okay, I'm going to play this and I'm going to put it at like 1.5. And then I'm going to go back to his Twitter because I don't know why I did that. Let me see. Well, I'm on there here. Okay, there it is. I'm like, where am I at? Okay, there we go. Never mind. I don't have to go back to his Twitter. It's already still up. I thought it like disappeared on me. So here's this video. I put it at 1.5 speed, so it'll go a little bit faster. And this is going to be the drone footage from where they found Chelsea Grimm's car. And then you'll see whenever they gets to the end of the footage, you'll see a truck and then another car. So wherever that truck is sitting in the middle of the road there, that's exactly how Chelsea Grimm's car was found. There's no audio to this, so I'll just play it here and I'll kind of blow it up that way you guys can see it. You can see everything around there. There's really nothing around there. It's very open. Hey, AR. She's 32. Yeah, Lorena. Yeah, she's 32. I wonder if that's like just a dried up like creek or something. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a road or just like or an embankment, I mean. Yeah, help or get a signal. That could be. Well, yeah. Yeah, that could have been it. That could be, yeah. I mean, anything's possible. I mean, anything. Like, where are you? Which way did you go? I mean, if I had 2 flat tires on a service road, I guess I would get out. Like at first I was always saying like I wouldn't even get out of the car, but I mean, if you're in the middle, if you think you're in the middle of nowhere because you're not familiar with the territory or the area, maybe she thought I'm just going to get out of my car. Maybe she took a wrong turn. Because there are little roads that go off of like, Road 6. But you would think they would have found her by now. They did a 3-mile radius. They should have probably stretched that a little bit further. I don't know how far she would have. I mean, she should have been able to get however far she needed to. Wiz, that's what I'm wondering. But for some reason, I swear SF told me that there wasn't a woodcutter. Like like the woodcutter person didn't even see her or something. I swear. I was going to write him today too and ask him that. I was like, maybe I'll see it in one of his posts, like as we're going through them, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm like, I don't know if I'm losing my mind or if he really said that or not. And then there's where the truck is. So that's where they found her. I can't zoom in, but let me see if I can go back a little bit. So we can just like see. Okay. See like maybe like a wider shot. Now I just kind of like go up a little bit, SF. So maybe she would have came in on that road. And I think it's like it was facing that way. So that's like, I mean, maybe she went down like this little road, like this little service road thing here. Like, I don't know why she would do that, but I don't know. I'm just like staring at this, like, where could she be? Because like to me, I would have stayed in the car, but then again, I guess if you have 2 flat tires and you have no signal, like you had to do, she would have had to walk, yeah. Like Teresa, I would have been so mad. I would have been like frustrated because I would have had to got out and walked. I would have been like, where's AAA at? Dang phone. Because like she had AAA. That's the thing. That's so sad. Like she was like right there. So let's go back to this. This is another missing person. That was more drone footage. Okay. I don't think we need to read this one. Let me see. No, it's not. That's not anything. I'm just trying to find like the good stuff. This one on October 25th, he said, I'm heading to a 10:15 a.m. appointment at the sheriff's department, then going back out on the search for Chelsea Grimm. I have set up 2 new search zones for today. I think I accidentally left my tracking on, so it should be the same as yesterday. I will, on the 25th, I will say we are making progress in the search. We have not come up empty-handed, but we can't disclose everything right now. We are narrowing down the search. We are starting to understand things. I also just reset my tracking. Okay. Yesterday this was on, what day was this one? The 27th. So yesterday was my 7th day of searching for Chelsea Grimm between last week and this week, and was the last day I was contracted for. I am going to search today after I ship off the evidence to the lead investigator. Then I will be heading home. It's hard to leave a search without closure. It's a horrible feeling, but I know it's nothing compared to what Chelsea's family and friends are feeling. The sheriff's department released all the evidence to me yesterday. Computer, camera, everything they took into evidence. There was a lot of information learned overnight, but still many unanswered questions. I will do a more thorough wrap up when I am home tomorrow because there are amazing people in Williams and Ashfork that nobody knows about that have been out searching for Chelsea nearly every day, and I want them to know how appreciated they are. I got to meet those people. They searched with me. They were kind and caring people doing a wonderful thing, showing up for Chelsea. I hate to think the snow is coming in just weeks if she's out there. I hope and pray this is a walk-away situation, a reset at life, and she appears. This is such an unbelievably complex case, far more complex than the public knows. I don't have the answers. I only have my conclusions based on what I've seen as evidence, and I could be completely wrong, but I do not believe this is a crime. Chelsea needs to be found. I will search today before I head out of town. If I don't find her, I hope someone does. She needs and deserves to be found. She deserves that respect. And I agree. I mean, even like whether she wants to or not, she needs to be found. So this is, I think, the first set. Okay. And then we'll listen to the second one. And this one, I'll let you know what she's saying in it as well, because I did write. He wrote me about that. Because I had to ask him, what is she saying? Okay, wait, that's not it. Okay. So this post says, I have left Williams and the search for Chelsea Grimm. Although I hope to locate Chelsea today, I did not find evidence through today I did find evidence through eyewitness accounts and video surveillance that may give us reason to be cautiously optimistic that Chelsea is alive. I have included a few seconds of a 4-minute surveillance video of Chelsea at a motel and describing her intentions to go off the grid and start a new life to the front desk person. She changes her mind when checking in because her credit card is trackable. She comes back a second time and has another discussion with the female. This does not prove she is okay and that something did not go wrong in the forest. But it gives hope that she is trying to make a change in her life and doesn't realize a large-scale attempt to find her is taking place. If that's the case, then this is not deception or faking a disappearance. This is someone that is suffering and trying to find a solution. I am not going to share the full clip or the full context of the audio. I have sent it to the family's lead PI. As far as I'm concerned, none of the time and effort spent searching for her would be wasted if this happened to be the case. This surveillance is from September 28th, around 11 a.m. Later that evening is when she's caught on body cam. So in this video, her words that she's saying to him, because it's kind of, I couldn't tell what she was saying. She says, that's why I don't actually feel this is a very good idea. And she's referring to using her credit card, because it is trackable. So who found her vehicle initially? So I think the hunters did, but I think that they just kind of like left it. And then it seems like the police kind of found it on their own. The way that it's, they're giving it to us anyway. It's very strange though, because it's like the 30th, a hunter and his grandson saw the car, but then the cops didn't find it till the 5th of October. But it was on like a service road. So, I mean, I guess. Let me rewind this. And I'll play this a few times. That way you guys can all hear it.
That's why I actually filmed this. Very good idea. Okay, no problem. That's why I actually filmed this. Very good idea. Okay, no problem. That's why I actually filmed this. Very good idea. Okay, no problem. That's why I actually filmed this. Very good idea. Okay, no problem.
Okay. I mean, look at the place that she's checking into. I have not seen a motel that looks like this ever. I've never seen the inside of a motel that looks like that. It looks like it's straight from the 80s or the 70s or 80s. Come on, guys. Look at this. Look at the blanket. I forget what they're called, those kind of blankets, but they're like really nice. The lampshades, the fixtures on the ceiling, the curtains, it looks like it's like 70s or 80s or something. So it looks like maybe she was trying to check into one of those kind of just like real kind of just seedy kind of motels, maybe to look more, maybe she thought they wouldn't ask for her credit card there and she could pay with euros or cash. Ripple crochet. Yes. Thanks, Alicia. I know that Afghan. Yes, that's the word too. That's the one I was looking for. Afghan. Yeah. Those ones, they're like really super expensive, aren't they? Like nowadays, because like they were so like stuff was like built better back in the day. But you can see here, I mean, she has a dress. When we got off the live that night, I went to another live I was watching over at Down the Rabbit Hole News. And she showed this picture of Chelsea. And as soon as I saw it on a bigger screen, this is a huge screen, I don't know, but a different screen. It just must have been a different screen because it was actually a smaller screen. I was like, oh my God, she has a bag in her hand. So she has a bag, but at this point she had her whole car. So I was like, oh yeah. So because this is from the 28th. But there is more body cam, or not body cam, I'm sorry, surveillance of her. And he put it out. So it's right here. So this was 6 seconds. Let me see if this is the rest. Nope, this is the same. Okay. This is the rest of it. So this is 16 seconds. And this one says, Chelsea Grimm inquired at an Arizona motel about using euros, aiming to stay off the grid. She also mentions changing her name during the conversation. I've redacted the audio on her specific fears. These fears, along with untreated manic episodes, seem central to her disappearance. I now know she was in her car at 5:51 p.m. on September 30th, right where it was later found. With sunset at 6:14 p.m., one has to wonder, did she try to hike out after blowing out both passenger side tires, becoming lost in the dark, or is she truly off the grid starting anew? As an investigator that works solely on missing person cases, I am often at odds with others when it comes to the sharing of case information. I stand by the importance of information transparency, barring criminal suspicions. Secrecy doesn't aid resolutions. Secrecy delays investigations and continues to put the missing persons in harm's way. While no crime appears to be at play here, Chelsea is vulnerable. Finding her is crucial for her well-being. Here is a second surveillance clip from 11 a.m. September 28th. And let me rewind this one back for you, and we'll play this one a couple times through. That way you guys can hear it all.
Unless you take euros, or anyone in town exchanges euros. I was trying to stay off the grid. I don't really want. What's the problem? I was hoping not to use the card. Unless you take euros, or anyone in town exchanges euros. I was trying to stay off the grid. I don't really want.
Does she say she can, or someone that exchanges euros? Let me listen to that again.
Unless you take euros, or anyone in town exchanges euros.
It sounds like she says, or anybody that exchanges euros. Like she was going to go somewhere, get the euros and come, or exchange the euros for cash and come back maybe. But you would think they would have to have a credit card. Any hotel, motel, I haven't stayed at a motel. I don't think I ever have. But I wonder if you have to put a credit card down in a motel. Because, I mean, you think if you trash the room anywhere, you got to put your credit card down. Afghans were usually handing it by grandma. They were, West. I think that my brother had one. And he's a little bit older than me. He's 9 years older than me. That's what it sounds like. Exchange, King Scarlet. Okay, King Scarlet. Okay. That's what I was about to say. I'll be racking my brain with that. Okay. So that's what it sounds like she says. That's crazy. So it sounds like she would have went and got, but then why was she on that? Why was she in another town so far away? Oh my Lord. From Williams to Siegelman, I think I'm saying that wrong again. It is 42 minutes. Why go that far out of the way? You know what I mean? Like, that's just pretty far. Okay. And he has a final report on her too. So I wanted to read that because we read it the other night. I think we skimmed through it. Okay. So this says, I'm really impressed with this detection software. I have been a beta tester for. It's designed to search and rescue. I'm running the Chelsea Grimm footage through this software, and it's picking up other searchers from quite a distance while still under the trees. Oh, wow. You can see the person. Hey, go back. It's like detecting the... Look, you can see it right there. It's kind of spooky. It's kind of spooky a little bit. Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool, though. Well, that is pretty cool. Hopefully it'll detect something. What is he? Oh, for a different search. Okay. I thought he was talking about Chelsea. Okay. So this is the picture that he was talking about. Okay. This is the last post. So this is the picture that he was saying. He said, remember, he said in the last post that he knows that she was in her car, alive and well, on September 30th at 5:51 p.m. I believe that's what he said, 5:51. So this is his last post, and we'll double check to make sure it is. And then let's see when this one was from. November 1st. I am going to make this my last post about the Chelsea Grimm case. There is not much more I can disclose publicly. I firmly believe that full transparency is needed to solve missing person cases, but this is not my decision to make. I was contracted for 4 days of search efforts. I did 9. The other days pro bono. In those days, I'm proud of what I was able to accomplish. Motel surveillance, viewing love surveillance, another business Chelsea visited at 4:10 p.m. on September 28th, and interviewing 3 employees, inspecting and searching her vehicle at the police impound yard. And speaking of the car, I asked him I said, were there cigarettes in her car? Where are her cigs? Because she smoked cigarettes. One of the pictures shows the bearded dragon with a cigarette pack beside it. And he said that the only cigarette packs that he found were in the car, and they appeared to be really old, like old cigarette packs, nothing that she would have had, recently. So that to me says another thing that gave me like more hope, because I'm like, okay, she took them with her. I'm hoping. Where are we at? Okay, it says taking possession of all of the evidence from the sheriff's department, including her computer, a phone, purse, wallet. Oh, there's the wallet. I thought she said that I swear she said she had the wallet on her. Maybe she didn't. If he's saying he had it, then I don't know. Okay. Purse, wallet, journals, receipts, and her Canon camera, which had over 400 pictures from the area she went missing. So a lot of pictures. Miles and miles of foot search and over 120 gigs of drone footage. One of the last photos Chelsea took is a selfie timestamped 5:51 p.m. September 30th, putting her inside the vehicle and almost dark at that exact spot her car was recovered. Hundreds of text messages were also recovered. The single biggest piece of evidence, in my opinion, is a handwritten note from September 28th that is rather cryptic, but after interviewing an employee at a business and a few of Chelsea's friends, I was able to figure out the meaning and significance, and it's not a S note. This was all passed along to the lead investigators, and I hope they will follow up on it. The investigators and family have decided to bring in a child sex, I guess I should have said trafficking organization from the East Coast to conduct further search efforts. Now, why would they bring that in? Like, I don't get that. Why would you bring in a child, what did he say? S ring or S trafficking organization? She's not a child at all. No offense. She's 32. I don't get that. Why does anyone know why? Is it more urgent if it's under that? I don't get it. I don't get that. I don't get why they've got 2 PIs that are already out there searching with their drones and their vehicles and all of that. They found the surveillance. They found the other surveillance at Love's. Just, why would you bring in, I don't know. That's just weird. It says the investigators and family have decided to bring in a child, sex trafficking organization from the East Coast to conduct further search efforts. For this reason, I will go silent to make sure I do not interfere with their efforts. I truly hope they locate Chelsea. I hope they respect the goodwill that has been built with the ranch owners, locals, and law enforcement. I will conclude by saying I do not believe there is a crime in this case. I believe it's 30% chance after blowing out the 2 tires, she hiked out safely, possibly the next morning, and had someone pick her up or found a way to continue her journey to stay off the grid. I will mention there were 3 bills of sale for low-priced vehicles she purchased recently, and those should be investigated because there is an eyewitness sighting of her in a gray car, not an SUV. Okay. So maybe he's insinuating that one of those cars will be missing when they go to look. I don't know. But who buys 3 cars or has 3 bills of sales for cars? Like, that's almost like you're starting up a car lot. I think we've all felt like that, Cheryl. She said I used to want to disappear back in the day. It says, or 2, she was executing her plan to find a new life and stay off the grid in a diminished mental state. And after blowing out the 2 tires, she hiked out shortly after she took the 5:51 p.m. photo and truly got lost in the dark, by taking one of the many roads that fork off F4 or R6, Forest Road 6, she was traveling on. In this case, she could be far outside the current search zone. At night, without a compass, lost person behavior statistics show that people tend to walk in an arc, even though they think they are walking straight. I could see that. I can't walk a straight line to save my life. Where were we stop at? I can't even see. There we go. I'm like, where were we? I would widen the search grid out and check a search band starting at about 8 miles from the car and as far as 15 miles out in an arcing formation to the west and northwest of the car's location. As with every case, Chelsea weighs heavy on my heart. I hope by a miracle she is okay. In case she is not okay, I hope they ramp up private search efforts to find her before the snow falls. I appreciate that the investigators and family trusted me with the search efforts for those 4 days, and I hope for nothing but success to the new organization coming in. I hope everyone can understand that I can't answer further questions or reply to comments on this case. I have attached one photo proving she was in her car at 5:51 Pacific time on September 30th. For those that will say, maybe she didn't take this photo, there are others at the same time where she is visible, but out of the respect of her privacy, I am not showing a photo that includes her in it. Godspeed, Chelsea. I wonder if she took this picture, like, I don't know, it looks pretty straight. Her car looks pretty straight. It doesn't look like it's flat, but maybe they were going flat at this time, and she's taking a picture going like, oh my God, I gotta get a picture of this. Yeah. So both passenger side tires were flat, and they weren't shredded, and they weren't like punctured. Like it wasn't a puncture like a slash tire. It was more of like if she were to hit like a lava rock or something like off of the side. I don't know, Rita. That's really weird. Let me look that up. Let's see if that will. Oh, that didn't really give me anything. That's weird. I don't know. I guess it says, I don't know if this is it. Reporting and investigating missing person. Oh, that's like, I think it's. Oh, I don't know. That's really weird. I don't know why they would bring one in. I hope she's okay too. Yeah. And so the witnesses, they said that when they saw the car, that it appeared to be okay, and they just kind of left it alone. They saw it twice, I think, maybe when they were like going back to camp and hunt or whatever, and then when they were leaving. But he did say something else to me because I wrote him again after he said he couldn't comment or write after this. I didn't realize that he said that. Now I feel bad that I wrote him like a paragraph. I literally wrote a paragraph. Literally did. I feel bad. But I had a lot to say. Okay, so I said, good afternoon. I know you have finished your investigation in Arizona for Chelsea Grimm, but I was curious if you had any more updates. I am still covering her on my channel, and I think about her and where she is every day. Did the bearded dragon come up as found? Do you have any info you can give me? Are you still working with her family? It's like they did 2 interviews, this is what I said, on the 16th, and then there hasn't been anything. I don't want to give up on her, especially if she does need help. Thank you for helping me out. I appreciate it a lot. And he says, I really don't have anything I can disclose. He said, I'm going to do a final post on the case in an hour or 2. But he said the family is very non-responsive and have not even visited Arizona. I'm just not sure what to say about that. It's a first for me. And I was that's all I needed to hear. Because, it's very weird. I don't know, because my relationship with my parents was probably different. I mean, my parents aren't around now, but my dad would have been on a plane. If he couldn't afford a plane ticket, you would see him walking, like a bus, anything to get out there to hand out flyers, even if they were handwritten flyers with just my name on it and his telephone number or something. Like, you know what I mean? It's just you do anything you can do for your child. I feel like, even if doesn't matter how old they are, doesn't matter. Especially if they're having a manic mental break. That's when your child needs you the most, you know? And maybe she was trying to get to her parents because she knew once she was there, she would be fine. But why hasn't she reached out, you know? Oh, good, Teresa. I'm so glad. Oh, did she? Oh, pretty intense. Or pretty insane. I thought you said intense. I didn't hear that part. I've listened to that thing 10 times. Now I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it again. I didn't. I hope not, man. Yeah, you'd have been on the first flight. Yeah, my mom and dad would have been anything they had to do. Just bring her back. But it's like not like she's been kidnapped and there's like a ransom. And she hasn't. I don't think she's been trafficked out there. I don't know why they're bringing that organization in. Now I have more questions for SF. Be like, just write me again. Why would they bring that in? Because I looked it up and I don't really see stuff, but I don't know. I just hope that we get something. We get some news because we need it. We need it. Like, I need it. I need it in this. I need it in a lot of cases. But when it's a missing person, it hits different. And we have a lot of missing kids. And that's what's, really sucks. Michael Vaughn, Madalena Kojikari. Last year, this time, I was covering Quentin Simon. He would have still been missing. That's sad. Yeah, but why the sex organization? I'm wondering if because he said the investigators wanted to get them involved. So I'm wondering if they're being paid through the investigators, like, you know what I mean? Like the state. We don't know whose wedding. No, her sister, I forget. I think her sister lives in California too. I'm not really for sure, but she was at like an art gallery or something, like hanging out one night with her friend. Hey, Parker, how you doing? It's been a while. Welcome. Maybe. Oh, my dog just jumped out. Oh, Vincent left. I didn't even know he left. He must have went to get the dog's water. Heaven forbid they drink out of a spigot. We have hard water. We can't do that to him. One of our dogs wasn't feeling well for a couple of days, and once we switched the water, it was like she was a whole brand new dog. So that's probably what he was doing. Yeah, West. Like, why would they bring that in? I'm gonna look into that. That's weird. Yeah, that's real weird. And I'm known to call places and ask people questions because I don't care. I'll call the sheriff's department right now and be like, what does this mean? And they'll be like, I don't know. And I'll be like, well, you need to figure it out for me. Because I looked it up online, but let me look a little bit better. I'm just gonna put it. I'm just writing it down. That's weird. But I'm glad there's more eyes on this case. Like there are a couple of creators on YouTube covering it, but like now we've got like News Nation a little bit. I mean, they've only done it like on the 16th of October. I know that ID channel, we saw that article earlier. They just put that out the other day. So that's, getting coverage. This came out today. So this will get more coverage. Let me see how many people have watched it. Let me refresh. Oh, thank you, Parker. She became a member again. She's like, I'm back. Let me see here. They've had only 5.4K views. It's been 2 days now. It was 1 day earlier. Really, sweet Melissa? That's why she was out there? For troubled kids? Like at one point. Yeah, no, it's okay, Parker. I've been wondering where you've been. I'm wondering where you've been. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad you're okay. Yeah, welcome up. Welcome all back in. Get on in here. So that I didn't know that. Somebody emailed me some information, and I have to check my email. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem. Yeah, Parker, that's what I agree. Like, I feel like if your family, and that's saying I'm not. Don't come for me, family or anybody. But if your family isn't out there looking for you, then who else is going to take the initiative? Really? Do you know what I mean? Like, really? Like, you got to be that forefront. You got to be that person, that face. You got to like show the missing person. It's very weird. Both of the interviews, if you go back and see those interviews, they're wearing the same clothes and they're in the same spot in their kitchen on both of them interviews too. It's like, what is going on around here? I thought I was in the Twilight Zone when I was watching them. I was like, and then I heard this today and I was like, wait, this is the same interview. I was like, I'm really losing it. I thought I was really losing it today. I was so mad. I posted on the community tab. I was like, I thought he was going to give me something new, but I didn't hear him in the beginning. He did say this was like a replay or whatever. I didn't hear that part, but I was just like, what's going on with him? But that's all I have for you guys for now, I think. I think that's all I have. Caitlin Armstrong went on trial this week. She's already acting a fool. So we'll probably go over that Saturday because I didn't realize I was going to do it tomorrow, and then I set the stream already up for tomorrow, and we'll do Idaho. What was I going to do? Was I going to do that over? Y'all, I forget. It's not even coming up. It was over the IGG information. There's a new video out with Brian Kohlberger in court or whatever with Anne. Down in the basement in the jail, but they're on Zoom. So we'll watch that tomorrow. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it'll be fun. I haven't watched all of it, so I think I'll wait and I'll watch it with you guys because I like to do those kind of things, like especially when it comes to the trial stuff. Like I like to be just as surprised, except for whenever he waived his right to a speedy trial. I haven't watched that yet. I still haven't watched it. I just listened to it. The tweets. That's what we were doing. We were reading the tweets, and I started crying. And when we heard that, and I was like, I'm done. I was like, I'm out. I'm done. I was so over it. So I didn't even watch him, like that court date he had. I couldn't stand to listen to it again. Yeah, they need to do something about that. Okay. So yeah, we'll do Caitlin Armstrong Saturday. Nancy Grace has some stuff to say about her. I haven't heard it yet, but I can just listen. I can listen to her back there. She's already bitching. But I think that's all I have for you guys for tonight. I haven't got into that case ALR. I need to look into that one, that Maya one. Yeah, was his body? Oh, was it? Could you see him on the camera? I wonder. I didn't watch the video yet. I saw a little bit of Ann Taylor. You can see her full face. It was very, very different because we're just used to seeing her head, like the back of her side of her head, and then you can see like Bill Thompson and all of them. It was just different. It was different. But I'm going to jump off of here. If you guys haven't hit the like button yet and you appreciate the content, don't forget to hit the like button. We are trying to get, over to that 13,000 subscriber mark. We are getting so incredibly close. So if you haven't yet subscribed to the video, make sure you do, or the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, not the video. Or you can do that too. I think you could do both. You can't subscribe to the video. But thank you guys for coming tonight. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, guys.